Okay, go. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the whole cluster assembly in the bottom of the case, okay? So it's so cold out that I actually have to use a torch on the assembly lube to get it to kind of melt a little bit. So, all right, so I'm gonna get, hopefully the assembly lube will keep everything from moving around too much. We'll see what happens, all right? Obviously the front thrust washer has the little tang on it, and that will keep it in the groove in the case and keeps it from spinning. And the rear thrust washer has the 4 notches. That's the style we're going with on this. I'm gonna get that where it's gotta go. And hopefully I can get this thing in the case in a way that you could see what I'm actually doing. It's a little bit easier doing this when you're not filming it, but we're gonna see what we can do. All right, so usually that way. So let me see. Can you see that? Is that pretty good? Terrible? Okay. Well, it's really tight and it's really cold out, so let's see. It'll go. All right, so now we're not going to put the counter shaft in because this needs to actually sit in the bottom of the case in order to put the input shaft and the main shaft in. And that's what we're going to do next. All right, so spin this around. We're going to get our reverse gear, get a little assembly on there. Everything else, we're going to put some oil in. So we're going to cluster gears in. We're going to stick the reverse gear in. All right, and now we're going to get the rest of everything assembled. Main shaft, okay, there's a little bit of grease on everything just to kind of keep it lubed up and starting. All right, that's going to go in. Okay, now the input shaft is going to go in. It's very important to make sure that the notches, okay, and the blocker ring fit in the notches in the sink rod. This is going to go in through the front. Okay. Get that. Okay. I can't believe how cold it is. So now what we can do is we can rotate this until that seats like it just did. Wiggle everything. Now everything's in, okay? So next thing is we're gonna do the rear bearing and the rear slinger. Okay. It's gonna just fit in the case. The rear bearing slides on, it's a little tight, but it'll go. This rear ring is gonna seat against the case. Okay, so now that everything is flush, give everything a little turn. That looks okay. We'll keep that. That's technically in neutral. All of the blocker rings are in. There's no odd gaps. All right, and there's really no play anywhere. So what makes things a little bit easier, I have everything all kind of laid out and ready to go. We're going to put the front bearing retainer on. It's just going to kind of keep things from falling out, moving around. Okay. This whole case was, I bead blasted it, primed it. I just painted it kind of a generic cast iron because it's too cold to paint. All right. It's like 34 degrees out right now. So we're not mixing and spraying stuff today or for a little bit. So we're going to throw a couple of bolts in here. All right, that's just gonna kind of keep things from moving around too much, because now the fun part of getting the counter shaft in. That's not working, but we're gonna go. All right, that's on good enough. I'll put the gasket on, we could reseal that up later. All right, now the fun part. So what I usually like to do, and we'll see how well it works, okay, is I'm gonna turn this on the front, and now we have to get the holes lined up, okay, in the cluster. Fortunately, this grease is freezing and nothing's moving around too much, and we might get lucky. Okay. That seems to be going in pretty good. Okay, so the one thing you're going to want to do is come back towards the front. Okay, just get your finger in there, and you're going to move that front thrust washer around, because you don't want to bend it, get it all messed up. Okay. Okay, see, that's not going in all the way, right? So we're going to get a look. I can see that a little bit, and we're going to give it a little wiggle. Okay. After we wiggle it enough, that's going to fall back in. Okay. We're not going to put that in all the way, because we still got to line up the notches and everything else. Okay. We're going to turn it back on the front a little bit, and we're going to get, okay, that's the counter shaft for reverse. You hold it straight up and down, it should stay there. Okay. Both of those are in. Okay, we're going to rotate these. All right. Here's the lock pin. Okay, so now basically the lock pin is going to index the counter shafts. We're going to slide those in, and then we're going to put the lock pin in. And if everything goes good, the lock pin will go in. So that wasn't too bad. I don't know how well you could see it. I could see it pretty good, so I guess that's okay. All right, so we're gonna turn everything. Okay, right now we're in neutral, good. Okay, reverse, good. And first gear, so that's all good. I'm not putting the rear bearing retainer on tonight, because I'm actually gonna use the one that's in the car with the mock-up transmission, so this one's gonna just kind of hang out. So we'll just put a bolt and a washer in the back, and what I'll probably do is I'll probably do another video on installing this and actually doing safety wire the proper way. So, and then after that, hopefully by the end of the week, we're gonna be looking to get the whole parking brake set up, functional, and get that done, and then the brake system will be completely done. Steering is all done, and yeah, we're getting this thing ready for the Northeast Vintage Drags, and life keeps throwing some curveballs our way, but we keep getting through them, and we're gonna be there. So hope this was a somewhat efficient, quick video, and not too boring. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Just the way it goes. So, all right, we'll see you for the next one. Thanks.